Welcome back to BrokeN Boys, or for the first time to BrokeN Boys.
Could be.
This is episode 125.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Colin.
And I am Mike.
Wow. 125.
Yeah. 125. That certainly is a number.
Sure is.
Divisible by 5.
Mm-hmm. Love those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
5 is my favorite number.
5 is your favorite number?
Mm-hmm. I love how easy it is, you know?
Mm. So you like to take the easy route in life?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
I hate math.
Uh-huh.
So I take whatever easy route I can take.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to be doing a artist analysis of this little indie band called the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
Where we'll be talking about their entire discography, what we think about it, how we would rate it, you know, fun stuff like that.
Yeah.
Little series we do.
Yeah.
But before we do that, how's your week been, Mike?
Week's been fine.
Yeah.
Haven't really done too much. This kind of a relaxing week between, you know, what was going on before?
School?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I was doing the pet sitting, and then I was doing my class, and my class ended last week.
Mm-hmm.
I think I did fine in there. I haven't checked my last 3 grades, but I'm sure it was okay. But yeah, between that, you know, I've just kind of been relaxing this week, playing a lot of Red Dead, playing games with friends, because next week I'll be doing marching band stuff again, and we'll have to figure out something for the pod, because those will be the 8-hour days.
Oh, God.
Yeah, don't you miss those?
What is it, like Monday through Thursday? Is it
Monday through Friday.
Oof.
I think, actually. I don't 100% remember. I'm pretty sure it was Monday through Friday.
Damn.
Yeah, but so that'll be a thing. But we'll do that. But yeah, so I've just been relaxing this week. A lot of Red Dead. Been playing, probably putting a little bit of unhealthy hours in there. I think I first talked about it last week. I don't remember what day I got it last week, but I saw earlier this week I had like 23 hours in it already. I was like, oh, that's almost a whole day in like a week and a half or so.
It is so easy. It's so easy to sink that many hours into Rockstar games like that, though.
Yeah.
So don't feel too bad.
Yeah. My one complaint about the game, and I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it yet because I haven't explored everywhere, but I think the map is just like slightly small. Really? I would say. It feels like maybe there should be like one more big town somewhere or something like that. It's possible I haven't.
Have you gotten the whole map?
I haven't gotten some of the northern parts of the map, okay. But I think
they've gotten like Saint Denis and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. It's still a great game though. It's really good. I realized once I was playing, I was like, you know what? I'm not sure if I've actually played a game where I like actually care about the characters.
Right.
Like the dialogue is actually really good throughout the whole game. It's like kind of crazy.
It's a great story.
Yeah. And like. Yeah, there's just a lot of acting, even like the side stories and stuff. Like I'm interested in the characters and stuff. And I'm like, this almost never happens with games. Usually it's like, okay, I'll just do this mission because the game's fun. I don't give a shit about the person though.
Do you know the story? Like, have you spoiled yourself on the story at all?
Somewhat.
Okay.
Yeah, I do know like who becomes the main antagonist and stuff like that, and I know how Arthur's story ends as well. I've actually seen a lot about the game, but I'm still enjoying myself. But I don't exactly know the steps it takes to get there, so you know, that's what I'm interested in at this point. But yeah, it's a great game. Playing the shit out of that. My honor or the reputation or whatever has gotten a little bit better.
That's good.
So yeah.
Good to hear.
Yeah. Good thing they don't count when I quick save.
Did you kill the old slave owner yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't like there may be a different one, but he wasn't a slave owner. He was a slave he went out and caught them or something like that.
The guy whose house was like foreclosed on.
Yeah.
Stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think he was an owner. Well, maybe he was. I don't know.
He was a piece of shit.
Yes, he was. Yeah, he started crying over a fire, and then I put one in the back of his head, and he fell onto the fire, and like just, I was like, I kind of wish I like lassoed him and dragged him into the fire.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
I think one time I was playing it, I threw a Molotov at him or something, so that was fun.
Are there Molotovs in that
There's
game?
fire bottles, yeah.
Oh, dang! I don't think I've gotten one of those yet. That's good. That's a good outcome too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, bullet to the head was a little too humane. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty much that. I also had a birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm a good old double digits. You
Hell
know?
yeah, brother.
Mm-hmm.
How was that?
I don't know about you, but feeling 22.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good though. This is definitely the most low key birthday I've ever done. It was quite literally just we went out to dinner, like me and my family. We went out to Hibachi. Love going to Hibachi. That's what my mom was eating in there. Left over that. I got some sushi along with mine though. That was really good.
Oh, yeah.
Really good sushi. I forgot exactly what it was. I had like spicy mayo, avocado, shrimp, and eel sauce, and like some other stuff in there too. It wasn't like one of the super expensive rolls. It was one of the more basic ones, but like that shit was good.
Was it the nice place?
Hibachi?
Yeah. Yeah. Was it like the place that, like the fancy place ish?
Yes, I think.
Up in Naperville.
Oh no, it wasn't in Naperville. It's over in Tinley Park.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think most hibachi places are like somewhat nice.
Yeah.
Like they're like, a lot of them are in the $20 to $30 to $40 range stuff. So, but that was good though. Went there with my mom, dad, my grandparents, and we shared the table with a lot of these folk, and they were really funny. And one of them, he was like, "Oh, it's your birthday? How old are you?" And I'm like, or no, he said, "It's your birthday. You turn 27?" I was like, "Nope, 22." And he was like, I was like, "Dang, that's
Rough.
weird." I was like, I didn't take it, but yeah, he was like the whole time he was like, "Have you been to hibachi before?"
Yeah.
You know how like they'll do like the little onion train and they're like ding ding ding, and it'll be like the birthday train for the birthday boy. He was a character, but yeah, that was pretty fun. And then yeah, it was pretty low key after that. Went home and then Daniel and Vanessa have found this game on GeoGuessr that's like we're working together to like pinpoint exactly where we are in the world. So like. It's hard to, but like we each get like one guess and we can determine how big the circle is and it will tell us like if it's in that circle or not. And we've been playing that, and we played a lot of that last night, and we've gotten perfect scores every time. So it's pretty fun detective work. Yeah, then we just did that, and then that was pretty much the birthday. Not much too crazy, but that's okay. I didn't really want
it.
Yeah, no, I wasn't really looking for anything too crazy, honestly. But yeah, then I'll see Oppenheimer tomorrow night, so excited about that one. And then my soul will be gone next week. So
Cool.
Yeah. How about you?
It's been a pretty good week. I started and finished The Bear.
Oh, nice.
That
Yeah.
Hulu show. It's really fucking good. God, it's really fucking good. Like,
yeah.
It's set in Chicago, so there's like a lot of references to things. It's like, oh, cool. I know that. Stuff like that.
The bean.
But like, it's just really well acted. It's such an interesting story. It's really sad, but also really funny. There's an episode in season 2. There's only 2 seasons right now, but it's like the 6th episode.
That's the one that you said. Yeah.
It's the longest episode so far, and it's fucking crazy. Like it's got fucking crazy.
Okay.
It's got like anybody you could think of in it. It's
Margot Robbie.
Yeah. No, not that one.
Tommy Wiseau.
No.
Damn.
Think different. I'm talking Jamie Lee Curtis. I'm talking John Mulaney. I'm talking Sarah Paulson. Have you ever watched American Horror Story?
Nope.
Okay. You might recognize her face.
Okay.
I'm talking
Jamie, pull that up.
John Bernthal.
Oh, I know that one. Paulson.
Paulson.
think I kind of recognize the face.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But then I'm also talking fucking what's her name in Community?
Who plays Annie?
No,
Britta?
Britta.
Oh shit, what is her name? I couldn't think of Annie's name either.
Annie's name is
Allison Brie. And then
Britta's name is...
Oh my god. That's so bad. I know her name.
It's...
Britta from Community.
Britta Perry, that's her
Jillian
name.
Jacobs. Yeah.
Jillian Jacobs.
I think it's Jillian. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so fucking good.
Nice.
I highly recommend watching that show. But I probably won't get more of it for like a year and a half because of the strikes.
Yep.
So, you know, it's fine.
Yeah.
I also started replaying Red Dead 2.
Oh.
Because
you
talked about it.
Yeah.
And also I was getting a bunch of TikToks about it, and I was like, I want to play that game again.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was playing Red Dead, listening to the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of downtime in that game, so...
That is true, yeah.
A lot of horse riding. So.
Yeah, I didn't double up on them because I wanted to be focused on both of them separately. Mm-hmm. But if you've already played Red Dead and listened to a lot of the Beatles, then yeah, I can see why you would go that route.
I started playing... I started listening on, like, Tuesday. And then
you held off for a while for a 13-hour run.
I know. And then like I started playing like towards the end of Please Please Me, and I forget which song it was, but it was like weirdly fitting. It was like Western feeling, and I was like,
is that the one with the harmonica?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's Love Me Do, I want to say.
No,
okay.
Well, I mean it might have a harmonica in it, but it was like actually Western feeling.
Gotcha.
It's like Taste of Honey, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this is weirdly fitting. And then it was just 3 albums of I love you.
You're so pretty. Yeah.
But you know, fun stuff. I also went and killed the old slave person.
Yeah.
Shot him in the face. Watched him fall into the fire. I was like, I've seen that happen a few times now, but like,
I guess it's
good every time.
Yeah.
I love the character interaction in that game. I didn't do a whole lot else this week. Went swimming a little bit again.
Nice.
Watched Ted and Eddie's Margaritaville videos.
Yeah, they upload those on my birthday.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. Hour and a half of Margaritaville between the two of them.
So good. Those are great.
One of the things I loved about Eddie's video was when they were in Chicago or whatever, and like they're having like this happy montage at the Bean. They're like, the Bean or whatever, and then it was a happy music, and then just like that shot of him in the Bean. My tummy hurts. Music like changed.
So fucking good. Yeah. Not even the Bean. Fuck. Yeah, they're so good. There was a new story trailer for Spider-Man 2 came out yesterday from Comic-Con. Looks really fun. Very excited to play that.
That's the game?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
It comes out October 20th, so it was, 3 months from yesterday.
Okay.
It's exciting. I'm excited. Oops, sorry.
So excited you had to blow out the audio for a second.
But, you know, otherwise, I'm going to see Oppenheimer tomorrow as well. And also Sunday with John. So.
Damn.
Yeah.
When are you seeing Barbie?
Sunday afternoon, I think. So I'm going to spend a lot of my time in the movie theater this week.
Yes, you will.
But, yeah.
If you buy concessions every single time, I think you may go broke.
Yeah. Luckily. My dad's.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much my week. Didn't do a whole lot.
Nice.
Exciting stuff, really. But
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one thing I have here is, have you heard about this skibidi toilet shit?
I have from afar, but I haven't looked into it because I think it's stupid as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, it is. But, like, I was like, I don't know. I was so shocked by this. So, skibidi toilet is this phenomenon on YouTube right now. And I just find it insane because it is literally Gary's Mod shit posts made in 2023 that are getting more views than Mr. Beast.
That's insane.
Like, actually.
How?
I don't know. But yeah, they're all like 1-minute clips of, I mean, there's like apparently a whole like lore and story and shit behind each and every one of them. I found out about it like right before episode 50 came out. Like they're coming out like, you know, like every other day.
Jesus.
And literally, like I saw it was like one video was posted like a day ago and it had like 30 million, 40 million views or something like that. I was like, what the fuck? And later that night, I was trying to go to bed and it was, you know, like 3:30 a.m. I saw Skibidi Toilet 50 was uploaded like 30 minutes ago. In the middle of the night, had 1 million views already.
What?
I know. I was like, what the hell?
Are they farming?
I don't know. No, like apparently a lot of like it's not even Gen Z. It's like Gen Alpha.
Yeah.
Apparently are really liking it. And it's just like, wow, this is really interesting. And like people are like making jokes like every generation has their Gmod shit posting era. It's generational at this point. It's true. I mean, I grew up on like Gmod Idiot Box, which was a really old one. But
I watched so many YouTubers playing Gmod back in the day.
Yeah.
Hide and seek, that kind of shit. Like,
Vanos Crew and stuff. That
so
was
good.
probably for Gen Z. Yeah.
Markiplier and his friends. Like,
yeah. So like in
Gmod
that
is generational.
In that sense, you know, and like I guess there's creativity and stuff between them. Like I kind of respect it, but at the same time it's like this is just so weird. Like I'm just like baffled by how popular Gmod content is in 2023.
Do you think you could edit one of those so we can get those views?
Probably not. You could probably edit better than I mean he's also like not like an OG Gmod like upload or like content creator, but like he's been doing it for like 6 years or something. And like has had popular videos before this, but not like
I wonder
to
if he
this
really
level.
thought this would go this big.
Probably not.
Like he was just like, this will be fucking stupid.
I watched the first couple episodes and I'm like, how the hell did this like become a phenomenon? It's literally just like YouTube poops.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. Okay. I mean, like,
Hey.
more power to him. I just find it so interesting that that's a thing.
I wonder how much money you can make off of like a 1 minute video that has that many views.
I don't know. Someone pulled up like estimated analytics like for him and stuff, and like, it was something in like the 100K of money or something like that.
6 figs.
Yeah, 6 figs. I don't know, but
that's crazy.
It's insane.
Little can crack for the audience.
Oh,
maybe.
there you go.
There you go.
But yeah, like every single one of them, like 30, 40 million views. I think somewhere up to like 50 and stuff. I'm like, this is just insane. But yeah, I found that interesting. But yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah. There was also 2 kind of songs that came out. John Bellion released a cover of a Switchfoot song, which I've never listened to Switchfoot before. I've heard of them, but it's called Meant to Live. Did you listen to this by any chance?
No, I saw that he announced it, but I didn't listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of just like him singing over like a string section, which was the string section was really pretty. And the song itself was fine, and like I liked the last chorus a lot. It kind of like had this really big feeling, but I don't know. He also kind of had like effects on his voice, not like overt effects, but it was like obviously pretty processed and stuff. And I'm like, I kind of wish it was more raw. You've shown that you can sing like that without the effects. I think it would have been a little bit better because it was literally just strings from what I remember.
Okay.
So it was just a little weird to me, but you know, it was all right. Not too bad. Then Nothing But Thieves also released a stripped version of the song Overcome.
Saw that.
Did you listen to that one? Yeah. I mean,
I didn't feel a need to.
yeah, it's pretty much Overcome just without the drums and the bass. So for me, that makes the song even more boring. I wasn't huge on that song in the first place, but yeah, it just kind of proves to me. I'm like, yeah, I didn't really like this song that much.
Fair.
Yeah, the drums and the bass are pretty good though on the album. But yeah.
Yeah. And then a new Greta Van Fleet album came out.
The whole album?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn.
Starcatcher came out today. I listened to the first song on the way here. It sounded pretty good. It's Greta Van Fleet, so it's going to sound pretty similar to what they've already done.
Yeah, similar to something else, too.
Yeah. I can't put my tongue on it, though.
Yeah.
Finger.
Something. Tongue. You know. Just licking your finger.
Yeah. But the first song was good. They released like a few more singles since like Meet Your Master that I had no idea came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, well, album's gonna come out next week, so I'll just wait for that.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll listen to that before next week and get back to you on it.
All right.
Because we also have Post Malone coming out next week.
Oh shit.
Austin.
Oh, cool. Hopefully I'll be able to listen to that. I probably will be able to.
17 songs.
Yeah, I mean, just like listen to it before the pod. It depends on. Yeah.
Oh, I also went to Raising Cane's this week.
Oh.
And I got one of those Post Malone cups.
Nice.
So now I have a Post Malone cup.
There you go. True fan. Only real fans have the Post Malone cup from Raising Cane's.
I can sell that on eBay in like 20 years for like twos of dollars.
Maybe, yeah. If you're lucky.
Or I'll frame it.
Yeah, you'll need like a box or something.
A shadow box.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Well,
we'll talk about those next week. Or I'll talk about one of them, and we can talk about the other one together.
Yeah. Hopefully. Hopefully I'll be able to listen to it. I'm going to try my damnedest, but
you stay up all night.
Mm-hmm.
The night before marching band.
Yeah, and then lose sleep for.
Yeah.
I mean, they start at noon, so theoretically, as long as I don't
start
completely.
Earlier than we did.
I think we also did noon to 8, didn't we?
We did like 1 to 9.
Did we?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're 1 to 9. I don't fuck. I need to check my schedule.
That's probably good.
But
you can go teach these clarinets how to play basic notes, and then
I can teach them some of them 6th grade content.
Yeah, and you can relax with Austin Richard Post.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hopefully that album's good.
Yeah, he did a concert in Times Square.
I did see something about that.
Yeah, they made like a whole stage inside of a billboard, and then he was the first person to perform on it. So that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Nightmare for people trying to commute.
Yeah.
Or walk through Times Square, but I feel like people who live in New York don't commute through Times Square.
I'm guessing not. Yeah.
But I wonder if he went to Margaritaville while he was there.
Yeah, they have. He seems like the type, honestly.
He would. He loves Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah.
But that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Austin. From the clips I've heard of songs coming out, it sounds pretty good. So I'm excited to see what this sounds like.
Yeah, I've only heard the clip of Something Real, which I can still hear in my head right now. That song sounds like that's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
But
I'm excited for it. Usually I'm not a big person for albums that come out a year after the last one from artists, especially if they're like, here's fucking 20 new songs.
Yeah.
It's like, what were you doing?
Yeah.
You were on tour and everything. This can't be good.
Hey.
But hey.
The Beatles did all that in 7 years.
They sure did. Most of them with songs coming out, or albums coming out in the same year.
Yeah.
So. But yeah. That's a good segue.
That is a good segue.
I want to hop into our artist analysis.
We
the
sure
Beatles,
can.
As we're 23 minutes in. And
yeah.
It's going to take like an hour and a half.
It's going to be awesome.
Albums.
Yeah.
10 minutes per album.
Yeah. But we can do that. Before we do, though, I think maybe some context, at least for me. I mean, you can provide your own. It's a free country. But for me, Beatles. I mean, obviously, my parents loved Beatles, but they never really played them that much when we were younger. Mm-hmm. There's been like one time in the car where they're like, let's listen to some Beatles, and that was like a few years ago. Mm-hmm. But I've been familiar with Abbey Road for a while, and I've listened to Sgt. Pepper's and liked it, and listened to Let It Be and liked it. And there was a time like probably 2 or 3 years ago at this point when I was going to listen to all their stuff again. It was like while I was like redoing my room or something. Okay. And I was planning on listening through all of their stuff, and I think I got to Help. I think I finished Help, and I didn't quite get to Rubber Soul.
Oh, I think I remember your time with
which
that.
Would have been probably when things got exciting, and I knew that at the time, and I still didn't go back to it for whatever reason. But so like I did listen to all the first albums like one time. Mm-hmm. I didn't remember much about them, but they were there, and obviously I do know a lot of like the classics and everything, so I'm familiar with those. But like a lot of this was pretty new for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I got into the Beatles back in like fucking 2017, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And started with Help, went to Abbey Road, and then I listened to Rubber Soul, Sgt. Pepper, the White Album, Let It Be, and then like a couple years later I listened to Magical Mystery Tour. So
Did you listen to Revolver?
And Revolver. Sorry,
Okay. No, I was just wondering.
But like I had never heard the first 4 albums, and I had never heard Yellow Submarine. So
Gotcha.
I've heard 8 of the 13 albums.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was pretty interested to check out the classic stuff. Like I knew the classic songs for sure, but you know, yeah, that's my background. So.
Cool. Do you want to start?
Sure.
All right.
Alright.
Alright.
Dive into my fucking essays. So we start with Please Please Me in 1963. Alright. Yeah, it's about what you'd expect if you know anything about early Beatles. Those sweeter than honey 50s, 60s doo-wop love songs, along with some some fun and interesting cuts like Taste of Honey or Twist and Shout. There are some iconic tracks on here, and it's a good debut, but to say I'm looking forward to 3 more albums in this vein would be a stretch. Definitely not the era that gave me Beatlemania, but I also can't. It's not the era that gave me Beatlemania, but I also can't tell if they love the girl they're talking about in the songs or if they absolutely despise them. Because there'll be songs where they're like, "I love you, yeah, yeah, yeah," and then they'll be like, "She's got me in chains, and I want to love this other girl." Yeah. It's like. Yeah. What do you want? But my favorites were Twist and Shout, Love Me Do, I Saw Her Standing There, Do You Want to Know a Secret, and Taste of Honey. My least favorites were Chains, P.S. I Love You, and There's a Place, and I give it a light 7.
All right. Please Please Me. So I didn't really write a lot about these first few albums from what I remember, so yeah. I gotta say, one of the most iconic bands of all time, opening their first album with the line, "Well, she was just 17, you know what I mean?" Yeah. That sure is something. It's like, I think from what I remember, it's like immediate. I was like, oh, okay, well. But
to be fair, they were like teenagers, so.
Yeah, they were young at that time, but yeah, that's
still
true.
A little weird.
Yeah, but.
Thinking back on it.
Yeah. But yeah, I said this album is full of that 50s/early 60s doo-wop and rock and roll sound. And I gotta be honest, it doesn't strike me too much. I didn't care. What the hell is that thing?
It's a bug.
Get off my screen. I didn't really care for the first half of this album, but something around the halfway point broke, and suddenly the songs felt a lot more personalized and energized for me for some reason. So yeah, this was literally split down the middle for me, but the first half wasn't bad. It sounded good. I just have no attachment in this world whatsoever to the sound of those songs. Decent album overall, but I just don't like the weird vocal and instrument panning, having them fully in one ear or fully in the other. But I know I know a lot of the remasters will have this issue. The 2009 remasters, to be specific, which every album is. And I won't dock points for it, but still, some of it was getting on my nerves a little bit. But yeah, my favorites were Do You Want to Know a Secret, Twist and Shout, Love Me Do, P.S. I Love You, and A Taste of Honey. And my least favorite were Chains and Boys. And overall, I gave it a light 7 as well.
Cool. Yeah, Twist and Shout, man. Ferris Bueller.
That song was in there?
Mm-hmm. Damn. It's in the fucking parade scene, remember?
It's been a while since I've seen Ferris Bueller.
Oh, it's when he's on the parade float and he's like lip syncing. It's the fucking Twist and Shout!
Yeah.
The screechy kind of raspy vocals.
I didn't know Ferris Bueller sang that song.
Yeah. He also ran over a bunch of people in his car and
I knew
didn't
about
go
that
to jail
one.
for it. Simba.
That's right, he was Simba too.
And Inspector Gadget.
Yeah. I've never seen that one, but yeah.
You're not missing much, but
all
it's
right.
a classic.
I know it by name. Okay, next album we got, also in 1963, with the Beatles. This takes the not carrying cake to a whole new level. There's some good songs sprinkled throughout here, but I don't find much of this interesting on a vocal, instrumental, or songwriting level. It's all fine and serviceable, but it doesn't have that much creative spark that is associated with the guys. And I did do some research and saw there were a lot of covers on this one too, so that kind of makes sense. My favorites were I Won't Be Long, Till There Was You, All I've Got to Do, Money, That's What I Want. And my least favorites are I Want to Be Your Man and All My Loving. And I gave it a light 6 overall. And also I want to clarify that even though there was quite a few songs in my favorites, all these songs are like 2 minutes, like on the dot. So
True that.
So there being 4 songs that I highlighted, that says something. But yeah, I gave it a light 6 overall. Yeah.
All right. For being such an iconic cover, it's kind of interesting how few of the huge hits are on this thing.
Yeah.
It's also quite a bit different than I was expecting to sound as well. They kind of ditched the kitschy doo-wop for more of a rock-forward feel with even some slower tracks mixed in. I'm glad for the switch up, but even so, it's still not my favorite. There's good stuff, no doubt, but there weren't as many ear-catching moments as the first record. Also, what the fuck was Little Girl? Creepy as shit.
I don't remember that one.
The Little Girl was like the last song. It was like, I love you, little girl.
Oh.
Creepy. Bless you.
Thank you. Yes, that is creepy.
But my favorites were Till There Was You, Please Mr. Postman, I Want to Be Your Man, Money, That's What I Want, and All My Loving. My least favorites were A Little Child and All I've Got to Do, and I give it a light 7 again.
All right.
Yeah. All right. A Hard Day's Night, 1964. This one's all right. Got a couple of iconic tracks on it, and otherwise it's pretty harmless. I don't know whether it's the fact that it's a soundtrack for a movie or just the length of or it was just the length of the tracks back then.
Soundtrack for a movie?
Yeah, A Hard Day's Night's a movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did a few movies.
I knew they did a few movies, but I didn't know that was one of them.
If you've ever seen like clips of them like running away from a crowd of girls, that's that movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like just that or the length of the tracks back then, but with a bunch of the songs being so short, it's really hard to build a well thought out opinion on them. There's a lot more albums to go, and I shouldn't be complaining about shorter albums, but I don't know, this album's just fine. My favorites were A Hard Day's Night, I should have known better, and I Love Her, Can't Buy Me Love, and You Can't Do That. And my least favorites were If I Fell and I'm Happy Just to Dance with Her, and I give it a decent 6.
All right. I'm getting a lot of bugs on my laptop. Decent 6, you said? Oh, okay. It sounded like you liked it more than the last two.
It was fine.
Okay. All right.
I didn't.
Okay. A Hard Day's Night, 1964. So this is the first album that I think is worth coming back and listening to more. Sure, a lot of these tracks are silly little love songs in a 60s style, but that signature Beatles flavor starts emerging within the songwriting and the structures of these songs. We're getting stranger chords, unique vocal harmonies, interesting guitar and drum parts, and songs that don't feel like they should stay in the 60s. It's certainly not all perfect, and with 60 years of hindsight, we can see where this sound will evolve into, but this is a really great pop rock record on its own. My favorites were A Hard Day's Night, If I Fell, Things We Said Today, Can't Buy Me Love, and I'll Be Back. And my least favorites were Tell Me Why and I Should Have Known Better. And overall, I gave it a strong 7. Yeah, cool. Oh yeah. I always forget the format of this.
Come on. How long have we been doing that? Which? Ooh. Come on,
what's in there? Did you slip something in there when I wasn't looking?
Yeah. How many artist analysis have we done?
I don't fucking
Mike?
know. Probably
At
like
least
10, 15. I don't know. Maybe 20. Same year again, Beatles for Sale, 1964, and I said, I don't have much to say about this one. I guess I was hoping that after the last album we would immediately start heading into their more refined sound, but this one feels like it falls back just a tad. I don't think it's bad by any means, but it doesn't have as much memorability to it, at least upon first listen. There were a few tracks that positively stuck out and a few that didn't, but mostly this was just whatever to me. My favorites were I'll Follow the Sun, Every Little Thing, No Reply, and 8 Days a Week. And my least favorites were I'm a Loser, Honey Don't, and Words of Love. And overall, I gave it a strong 6.
Yeah, I said, I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk about this album before.
Yeah.
It's kind of like their forgotten child. I mean, I get it. The only recognizable song here is 8 Days a Week. And the majority of the rest...
I didn't even know that one, to be honest.
The majority of the rest, I could tell they were starting to get bored of the same old that they were doing. There's nothing too exciting about this one, and there are a few songs that I was genuinely not a fan of, but hey, at least there's a Ringo song.
I think there's a Ringo song on every album.
Is there?
Yeah.
I didn't recognize on the last few.
Yeah.
This one, I was the first one. I was like, that's Ringo.
Yeah.
That weird little goblin man.
My God.
Look at him. Especially before he got like the beard and shit.
Yeah.
The huge nose and the ears, like goblin man.
You don't deserve that.
I'm warning you.
With peace and love. Yeah.
But my favorites were 8 Days a Week, I'll Follow the Sun, Babies in Black, and I'm a Loser. My least favorites were Mr. Moonlight, Kansas City, Rock and Roll Music, and I give it a solid 5.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. But here we go.
Here we go.
All right. 1965. Help! 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 Yeah. Okay, this is where I caught Beatlemania. The Fab Four seemed to be a little revitalized after they were up for sale previously. Even if they were
finally sold.
Yeah. Even if there are some melancholic tracks mixed in. Well, there are plenty of love songs here. They've really done away with like the kitschy doo-wop for good here, and there are a lot less samey and boring as they were getting before. This album also has one of the best and one of my favorite Beatles tracks with Yesterday. It's extremely somber, and Paul is fucking amazing on it. This album's a classic for a reason. It's just, I love this fucking thing. But my favorites were Yesterday, Help, You've Got to Hide Your Love Away, Ticket to Ride, The Night Before, and You're Going to Lose That Girl. And my least favorite was You Like Me Too Much. I give it a light 8.
All right. Yep, Help. Now we're talking. I know I said on A Hard Day's Night that we were starting to get some timeless tracks, but with this record, nearly the whole thing still holds up today. Something that stood out to me on this one was actually the vocals. For some reason, I started connecting with John and Paul on their vocal performances throughout the track list. Like, I was actively like, wow, that's really nice. Maybe it's the writing, maybe they were exploring their vocal range more. It's a little hard to tell on first listen, but I really didn't dislike anything in this album besides Ringo's vocals and the questionable lyrics towards the end of You Like Me Too Much, which I don't remember what they were, but it was probably something like I don't know.
I fucked a 17-year-old in the bathroom of a
either that or like I'm gonna kill you or some shit like that.
They don't get to that until the White Album.
No, it happens in Rubber Soul. Oh yeah,
I don't remember that.
We'll talk about it. Something happened at the end of You Like Me Too Much that I don't know. But even though I enjoy the songs, I do think the second half slows down a little bit in quality. That is until we get to Yesterday, which I already knew I loved, but hearing it in the context of everything else they were writing at this time really shows me that the song was really the start of a new era for them. At least I think so. None of the songs have had this level of like polish to them so far, both in terms of instrumentals, lyrics, performance, writing, etc. I know their later stuff will start to have these kinds of sounds, especially in the ballads, now that I'm looking back on it. But I am interested to see if Rubber Soul will immediately transition into this sound. Only one way to find out. My favorite songs were Yesterday, Help, The Night Before, Ticket to Ride, You've Got to Hide Your Love Away. My least favorites were Act Naturally. That was the Ringo song.
Act Naturally. Come on, how do you not like that song?
Actually, I did see some clips of it recently, and I think I may not have it as far down now, but You Like Me Too Much, and Tell Me What You See. And overall, I gave it a light 8.
Awesome.
Okay. This is how we're going to find out. Rubber Soul, 1965. Same year as Help, which is kind of crazy, actually, now that I'm thinking about that. But it's times like these when I question why I haven't listened to more of their discography before now. This album is fantastic. I won't lie, I didn't think we were going to get something I loved for a few albums yet, but they really flipped the switch here. I absolutely love the overall instrumentation and vibe of this record. The guitars sound almost baroque, the drumming is super fitting and characteristic on every song. The vocal harmonies are so unique in the best way possible. There were so many songs on here that I hadn't heard before and just loved on first listen. There's so much good to be said about this album, and the only bad thing I have to say is the lyrics the lyrics to Run For Your Life. They are psychotic, misogynistic, fucked up. This is the one where he says, you better run, little girl, because I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
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 You're right.
Yeah, I did read up on the song and saw that John would go on to detest those lyrics down the line, which is good.
Interesting for John to say that.
Yeah, I said,
Not
but
Paul.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was John. From what I think it was.
Beat me wife, but I won't kill a little girl.
Yeah, exactly. Standards, you know. Yeah, I said he would go on to test those lyrics, but Jesus Christ, I did not expect that content within the songs. But other than that, and a few tracks that were just kind of all right, this sets a new bar for the rest of the list for me. I'm excited to see where we go. My favorites were In My Life, Drive My Car, Michelle, You Won't See Me, Girl, Norwegian Wood, Think For Yourself, If I Needed Someone. And my least favorites were Run For Your Life and Nowhere Man, and overall I gave it a light 9. I really liked it.
Awesome. Yeah. I think most would make the argument that the next record is what kicked off the Beatles renaissance, but...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I've heard that more than Rubber Soul.
Interesting.
But I'd say it was this one. They're really trying different sounds and instruments. What the fuck? Oh, Hell. It looks like a W. Hell, this is the first appearance of the sitar from good old George.
Oh, yeah.
Which would become a staple. I think the guitar work is fantastic here, the lyrics as well. This has always been one of my favorites, and it still keeps me more than interested throughout its entirety, even like years after I listened to it for the first time. Except for the except for the fact that the little girl came back at the end.
Yeah.
But apparently she was dispatched, so it's okay.
Yeah. No, don't need to worry about her.
Yeah, she's not coming back anymore. Yeah, my favorites were In My Life, Girl, Nowhere Man, Drive My Car, Norwegian Wood, Michelle, and my least favorite was Run For Your Life. And I give it a solid to strong 8.
Nice.
Love that album. All right. Revolver, 1966. What a fucking album. These boys were so ready for something new, and oh boy, did they go for it. The guitars were electronic, and their songwriting was eclectic. I'll tell you what. Started dipping their toes into some psychedelia and really showing how their next few albums are going to play out. But man, we really haven't seen nothing yet. This is many people's favorite Beatles album, and I totally get that. There's so much to love from here, from top to bottom. Other than maybe the weird song about the submarine. A little too soon.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy how they foreshadowed a whole album like that.
I know. But my favorites were Here, There, Everywhere, Eleanor Rigby, and your bird can sing. Jesus, Taxman, Good Day, Sunshine, Tomorrow Never Knows. And my least favorites were For No One and Yellow Submarine. Solid 8 for me.
All right. Yeah, Revolver, 1966. I said, oh yeah, now the drugs are kicking into high gear. While this album is still good, I'd be lying if I said it was hitting me as much on a first listen. This definitely feels like a grower, which is all right, but it makes it not connect with me as much on first listen. But I also listened to it in the car while doing some errands, so I wasn't as focused as some previous albums. But I still enjoyed my time here, and there's a lot of standout moments throughout the track list. None of the tracks got on my nerves, not even Yellow Submarine, which I thought I was going to hate. Peace and love, Ringo. And then I said, Tomorrow Never Dies is a song I've only known by name, but damn, that was fantastic. that was arguably one of my favorites there. Except I don't think I added it to my list.
It's also Tomorrow Never Knows.
Tomorrow Never Dies, I think it's a James Bond movie.
No Time to Die.
No, I think Tomorrow Never Dies is also. I think there's another one.
Right.
Yeah, Tomorrow. Yeah. Oops, I need to fix my album of the year review. But yeah, Tomorrow Never Knows is a song I've only known by name. Yeah, but that song was great, and I forgot to put it in my list. But I know. Same thing with Here, There, and Everywhere. I know it by name, but I didn't know the song. Although that track was just gorgeous and not super trippy like the other one. But also, I found the fact that I recognized For No One as the sample from Quadeca's Born Yesterday to be so ass backwards that it was just hilarious. I recognized it from a Quadeca song. I was like, where have I heard that before? I was like, I
love that.
But my favorites were Eleanor Rigby, Here, There, and Everywhere. I'd probably put Tomorrow Never Knows after that. Then Taxman, Gotta Get You in My Life, and Good Day Sunshine. And my least favorites were Dr. Robert and Love You Too. And overall, I gave it a strong 8. Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah. Alrighty. Next year now. They actually took a year between these albums.
Crazy.
How could they do that? So lazy. But... All right, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, 1967.
Yes, sir.
Classic. Some people label this as the best Beatles record, and I can see why. The experimentation of sounds mixed with these upbeat pop rock tracks is absolutely fantastic, and the songs are consistently well written on top of it. Even Ringo gets a chance to shine here with a little help, because while it still has that cutesy Ringo style to it, it's a relatable track with a fantastic melody that suits his voice, and it became iconic within and of itself. I've talked before about She's Leaving Home being an underrated gem. I mentioned that on the podcast and had it as a song of the week. I still love that song. And Within You, Without You is certainly a challenging track, but the strings mixed with the raga sounding instrumentation is just otherworldly. Like, I was loving that song this listen. Lucy in the Sky is obviously a classic, but A Day in the Life has got to be one of their best tracks in general. Experimental, multi-section, catchy, fun, scary, realistic lyrics. It's such an interesting track that closes out the album perfectly, even though the album closes itself out the track before. It works really well for whatever reason. There are a few songs I'm still not crazy about, but the highs carry this record into legendary territory. My favorites are A Day in the Life, With a Little Help from My Friends. Yep, that's my second favorite on here. I really love that track. She's Leaving Home, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, Within You, Without You, and When I'm 64. And my least favorite is for the benefit of Mr. Kite. And overall, I give it a decent 9.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. No, some gourmet shit.
Yes. Some gourmet Beatles.
Yes. It's the meat of the future.
Yeah. I'm gonna start serving them like Jesus Christ on fucking
crackers.
God. Yeah.
Communion wafers.
Communion. Why did you remember that name before me?
Fuck, I know. Because it's a meme for people to make nachos with communion wafers. You have it.
That's hilarious. Oh God. Anyways.
The band has been totally revitalized and show that with some of their most impeccable songwriting and production choices yet. Drugs are probably the best thing that could have happened to the Beatles in terms of their music, and I don't think that's controversial at all. While I don't love the way the audio is split in most cases, there are some cool uses, like in A Day in the Life, where John's depressing shit's on the left and Paul's happy shit's on the right. But this album is just fucking killer. It's a classic. It's fucking amazing. But my favorites were She's Leaving Home, A Day in the Life, Fixing a Hole, Getting Better, With a Little Help from My Friends, and Within You, Without You. And I don't have any least favorites, and I also give it a decent 9.
Nice.
Yes, sir. All right, you ready to hop on the bus and go
Magical
on?
Mystery Tour?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Because, this is the Magical Mystery Tour, 1967.
I think if someone were telling you to come on a Magical Mystery Tour, you should probably decline.
I don't know. I think I'd be down for it.
All right.
But,
That's a loud plane.
It is. Hold for plane.
I think there's 21 of them flying that.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think they made the cockpit, huge.
Yeah.
In that one.
You know me, I'm into huge cockpits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, Magical Mystery.
The drugs are still drugging, and the boys are still experimenting with different sounds. This album's really all over the place, but I think it works in its favor that way, especially since most of the lyrics are complete nonsense in the first place. At some point, I'll have to watch the movie they made for this album because I've heard it's absolutely fucking bonkers.
I can imagine. I didn't know there was a movie for this one also.
Yeah, but as an album, I like it quite a bit. It's not as good as Sgt. Pepper's or Revolver, but it's unique in its own way. But my favorites were I Am the Walrus, Strawberry Fields Forever, Hello Goodbye, Blue Jay Way, and The Fool on the Hill. My least favorites were Flying, and Baby You're a Rich Man, and I give it a strong 7.
All right. Magical Mystery Tour, 1967. Same year as Sgt. Pepper's. Honestly, I had no idea what to expect with this album. I knew Strawberry Fields and I'm the Walrus were here, but those are both pretty odd songs. Yeah. And while they're very good, I didn't know how an entire album of that style would pan out. Plus, this is by far their worst album cover. I gotta say it. I hate the color vomit on it. It looks disgusting. And what the fuck are they wearing? I don't know.
That's the shit they wore for I Am the Walrus.
I don't care. It looks
They're all
stupid.
in animal costumes.
It looks stupid. I don't like it.
Come on.
Anyways.
Be more open.
I was open. I didn't like it. But after listening, holy shit, this was unexpectedly really good. Yeah. I loved how beautiful yet weird this album was. The strange harmonies get even stranger, but it's accompanied by some gorgeous instrumentals that feel even more expanded than before. It's insane to think that their first album was only 4 years before this.
Yeah.
Like from this point, it's like, what? 4 years before this, they were making those silly little love songs. But yeah, how in the hell they progressed so much in so little time is beyond me. Also, Penny Lane was a surprise on here. For some reason, I thought that would have been on like Revolver or White Album or something, but it worked well within the track list. I think I was still doing errands at this point, and I wasn't looking at it. I was like, wait, Penny Lane's on this album? What the hell? But yeah, there were a couple tracks that I thought were a little annoying, but all in all, this was a consistently rewarding album and arguably their best track listing yet. I thought each song like bled into each other like very well. My favorites were Strawberry Fields Forever, Penny Lane, Blue Jay Way, I Am the Walrus, Fool on the Hill, and All You Need Is Love. My least...
Sorry.
And my least favorites were Baby You're a Rich Man and Hello Goodbye.
Oh, Hello Goodbye. What is this slander?
I thought it was a little annoying.
Hello
I think.
Goodbye. Come on.
I thought it was a little annoying or something. I don't know.
Take it back. Also the Nowhere Man slander from before.
I don't remember about that. I think that one I thought was just boring.
You're boring.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, I like Magical Mystery Tour and I gave it a light 9.
Damn.
That's not boring. I really liked it, okay?
Hey, it's a great album.
Those being in the least... Actually, I think I remember Baby You're a Rich Man being a little less than the rest of the tracks, but I think Hello Goodbye is just kind of like... I didn't like it as much as the rest of the album. Right. And I thought Flying was just kind of interesting as a little instrumental, like interlude or whatever, but... Yeah, light 9. I really liked it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well...
Oh yeah, it's me again.
Double album?
Yeah, Beatles, aka the White Album. At the risk of this being a hot take, let me just say that this may be another one like Revolver, where I'll need another listen to truly appreciate it. But with this first listen, I actually didn't like a chunk of these songs, particularly in the first half.
Wow, the first half?
I know. I was realizing throughout this album that I really love the pretty ballads of the Beatles, but some of their more rock-driven tracks just aren't my thing, and that's what a lot of this record consists of. I found some of the choruses annoying, as well as some of the vocals, and the songwriting in general wasn't hitting me as much as it has in the rest of their discography. I still think there are great tracks on here, mainly a lot of ballads, but Helter Skelter and While My Guitar Gently Weeps are some examples of the more like rock-forward songs that I enjoyed.
Jesus.
Yeah, I like.
Scared there.
Yeah. I also liked Revolution 9, which I know is a hot take, but I thought it was a great track using the genre of musique concrète to make something slightly unnerving with a bunch of sounds that blended together well. Does it belong on a Beatles album? That's debatable, but I still think it's good for what it is. Also, finding out that the piano part in Radiohead's Karma Police was inspired by Sexy Sadie was kind of cool. I was listening to Sexy Sadie. I was like, why does that sound so familiar? And yeah, the piano in the chorus of Karma Police is inspired by it. But yeah, this was a long, fatty record, and most of it was fine, but there were some songs I genuinely didn't like here, which was pretty disappointing. And then I have an edit from afterwards, because I think this is a couple days later. I said, I just now realized there's a 2018 mix, and honestly, I think the 2009 mix just sounded bad on some of the heavier tracks. I sampled around the 2018 one, and it sounded so much better. So I'm going to revisit those mixes, this one with those mixes at a future time. I think it was just the way they like did more hard panning on this one, but there would be things like the drums and bass all in one left ear, which just is really muddy. Like it just, it's like actually kind of like taxing to listen to. So I think it's honestly that 2009 mix that was making me not like those songs. So take all that with a grain of salt, everything I said. My favorites were Blackbird, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, Martha My Dear, I'm So Tired, Goodnight, Mother Nature's Son, Helter Skelter, Long, 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 and Revolution 9. My least favorites were Wild Honey Pie, The Continuing Story of Bungalow Bill, Back in the USSR, Why Don't We Do It in the Road, and Obla Di, Obla Da. That song is annoying. I know that one's a classic, but I didn't like that one. And overall, I gave it a decent 7 for now. But yeah.
All right. So I listened to 6 albums yesterday.
Oh my god!
I listened to Sgt. Pepper Magical Mystery Tour earlier in the day, and then
and this album's like 3 times the length of all the rest of them.
And then I started listening to the White Album at 11 p.m.
Oh my god!
So I was up till 3 a.m. listening
Jesus
to the Beatles.
Christ!
But you know, all right.
Why'd you do that to yourself?
I don't know. Because I figured I've listened to most of these. I don't really need to listen too hard. But I listened too hard anyway.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't half-ass this if Mike's going to be listening to all these. But yeah, there's so much going on with this record. It's very long. Very all over the place sound-wise. But somehow most of it works and is cohesive. It's been a long time since I've listened to this all the way through, and I forgot how weird and just how many bangers are on this thing. Not only that, but how many things that it's influenced. Glass Onion was the name of the Knives Out sequel.
Knives Out's the name of a Radiohead song.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, the first Knives Out was based on a Radiohead song, and Glass Onion's based on a Beatles song. They couldn't get the rights to the Radiohead song, though, for the first movie, so... Anyway, sorry.
That's cool. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Rocky Raccoon was the influence for Rocket Raccoon.
And also for the name of the raccoon pet in RuneScape. He's called Rocky.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that's cool. Helter Skelter was used in the Manson murder.
Yeah.
So not all good, but still crazy.
Yeah.
I also have to talk about Revolution 9. There is no other piece of media that has made me that panicked or given me that much anxiety listening to it.
Like on this last listen, or just in general?
In general.
Okay.
There is nothing else I've watched, listened to, read, anything that's given me that much anxiety. And I've listened to this thing like 3 times.
Yeah. That's why I like it. It's unnerving, genuinely.
I was sitting in the living room playing Zelda, and I was hyperventilating because it's just so much going on, and it was so scary.
Yeah.
And I had to like fucking put the controller down and breathe because it fucking scared me that much.
Yeah.
I
don't blame you.
Hate it, but I love it at the same time. I don't know. Like, it's so unique and it's so interesting, but it's so fucking scary.
Yeah.
And but yeah.
If I just go like number 9, you're gonna get like
yes,
jumpy. Okay.
Don't.
No one say that number to me ever again.
No, never.
No, I understand.
Yeah,
though. Like I get why that would happen.
It's fucking terrifying,
yeah.
but you know, it's a necessary piece of...
It's a necessary evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this record. It's very long, but you know, I love it so much. But my favorites were While My Guitar Gently Weeps, Blackbird, Julia, Dear Prudence, Glass Onion, Helter Skelter, and Back in the USSR. There's other ones too, but I didn't want to fucking I didn't want to write the whole fucking track list.
Mm-hmm.
But my least favorites were Revolution 9 and Wild Honey Pie. And I give it a strong 8 overall.
All right.
But yeah, Revolution 9 is fucking terrifying. And if you haven't listened to it, go ahead, put on some headphones.
Yeah.
Listen to a baby crying in one ear and fucking John going, I'm gonna fucking kill you in the other.
Yeah. Doesn't he start going like,
yeah.
At one point? Yeah.
Yeah. But next we hop into Yellow Submarine.
Yes, we do.
1969. I don't have much to say about this one. It's a nice soundtrack for the Yellow Submarine movie. A couple reused songs, which is absolutely unforgivable.
Yes.
But there were a couple new ones that weren't bad and that I liked quite a bit, like Hey Bulldog. Hey Bulldog was really good.
Mm.
The instrumentals were pretty and well done, but yeah, that's about it for this one. It's basically just a collab album with George Martin, because half the songs are credited towards the Beatles and the rest are George Martin, who like produced most of the Beatles albums, I guess.
Yeah, I think he wrote a lot of their string parts and stuff too. So.
Yeah, so like it's well done, but like it probably could have been skipped over, but we were like, let's listen to it.
Yeah.
But,
I was planning on skipping it, and Colin's like, but it's iconic.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
But yeah, my favorites were Hey Bulldog, Only a Northern Song, and Sea of Time. And I didn't really dislike any, so light 7.
All right. I said, you know what? This isn't half bad. Now, admittedly, I'm a very biased source since I studied film and classical music for 4 years of my life, very recently. Is this anything super special? No. But there are some moments that I think are orchestrated and produced really nicely. But let's start off with the Beatles section of this Beatles record. It's very mixed. On one hand, you have two iconic songs that have been on previous albums, and thus I didn't factor them into my score on this album. And on the other, you have two songs that are good. Hey Bulldog, and I liked It's All Too Much as well, even though that was a long song. I liked the guitar on it a lot.
Yeah.
And two songs that I thought were pretty bad, Only a Northern Light and All Together. All Together Now. You can see why I'm split on this. I didn't realize till I wrote it out that my enjoyment here is literally split into thirds between songs that existed, songs that are good, and songs I didn't like. But as for George Martin's half of the album, I really don't mind it. There are some nice cinematic, classically inspired film scores. And yeah, some of the pieces don't make a lot of sense without a visual. And I don't like every sound here, but I really do think that they're well orchestrated and colorful in sound. Part of the issue is that this lies within the winning streak of one of the greatest bands of all time. And it definitely doesn't measure up to that quality in the same way. But I don't think it's a bad album, just a bit of an awkward diversion from everything else. But yeah, my favorites were Hey Bulldog, It's All Too Much, Pepperland, Sea of Time, and Yellow Submarine in Pepperland. And my least favorites were Only a Northern Light, All Together Now, March of the Meanies, and Pepperland Laid Waste.
Only a Northern Light? What are you talking about?
I didn't like it.
Only a Northern Song.
What the fuck?
You wrote song, but you said light.
What the hell? Wait, which one's right?
Song.
Why did I... Oh God! I was listening to a lot of Beatles.
Yeah.
I think I was a bit of a method actor with listening to them, So just like a lot of LSD.
Oh, cool.
Mushrooms.
How'd that
go? Well, how do you think? Yeah.
Good.
Sure. That's why I don't remember much this week. But overall, I gave it a strong 6.
Playing Red Dead.
It's all right.
Mushrooms.
Exactly.
Just sitting there without moving.
Just watching his facial hair grow.
Yeah. How's your facial hair in that game? Is it real long and gangly? Or
I'm doing a goatee.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just kind of keep growing it there and keep shaving off the chops.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I get the lucky of talking about Abbey Road first.
Lucky ass.
All right. So now, same year, Abbey Road. It's been a bit since I properly revisited Abbey Road, but this album is the one I'm most familiar with as a whole. It's no secret that I've loved this album for a while now. I've had it as a 95 on album of the year for a while, and I was curious to see how it would translate within the context of their discography. Would I find it? What? I didn't read that. Would I find it relatively repetitive? I think is what I was trying to say, and like it less. Or would I appreciate its parts more as a result? Jesus Christ, how am I writing? Would I find it repetitive and like it less, or would I appreciate its parts more and, as a result, like it more? We'll get to that. For starters, multiple songs on here are the best in their category. Something is arguably my favorite song from them, period. But it's probably my favorite ballad of theirs, for sure. Here Comes the Sun is my favorite overtly happy song from them. I still remember cracking up to Maxwell's Silver Hammer the first time I heard it. Come Together is their best opener. Oh Darling is their best 60s sounding track in their career. And I Want You, She's So Heavy, still remains to be my favorite production on a Beatles track. That ending is actually so good for a pop rock album made in 1969. It's insane. I knew all of this going into this listen, and that's why my score was so high originally. I didn't remember much about the last leg of the album, which is just a giant jam session between mini song ideas. I did remember that part of it. But I remember liking it, but I didn't love it. Well, now I love it. Maybe it was the context of their discography behind me. Maybe it was the environment in which I listened to. Maybe it's because I haven't closely listened to this album in a while. But the last leg hit hard for me. While I don't think any of the individual tracks top the highlights of the first half of the album, they come together into this beautiful medley of sounds with the best pacing on any of their albums that they have ever done. It was truly a treat to listen to, and now I can confidently say that I think this thing is damn close to a flawless album, and it's one of my lighter ones, but it's a 10. My favorites on here were Something, I Want You, She's So Heavy, Here Comes the Sun, Come Together, Golden Slumbers, Oh Darling, Because, Sun King, The End, You Never Give Me Your Money, and Carry That Way. My least favorite was Polythene Pam, and overall I gave it a light 10. Yeah.
Okay, Abbey Road. How is this thing 47 minutes? Like, I've listened to this album a billion times, but every time I do, I fall in love with it all over again. This is by far their best songwriting, best performances, and best production on any of their records. I've never heard transitions smoother than those of the last, 9 tracks on this fucking thing. Yeah. It's fucking stunning. It's honestly, the only qualm I have with this record is the fact that Golden Slumbers isn't a full song. I love Golden Slumbers so much.
It was great, yeah.
But I want a full 3 minutes, 4 minutes of that song. I love that fucking. But yeah, this is one of the best records of all time. It's worth the hype. Listen to this fucking record if you haven't already. It is so fucking good, and I love it to death. But my favorites were I Want You, Something, I Want You, She's So Heavy, Something, Oh Darling, Golden Slumbers, Because, Come Together, and She Came In Through the Bathroom Window.
No, Here Comes the Sun?
Here Comes the Sun's in there, but
okay.
I just
that's fair.
I love every song on this thing.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. That's
but
fair.
I don't have any least favorites, and I give it a 10. It's
all right.
10. That's a 10er, baby.
It is. Agreed.
Yeah, but here we go. Last album, Let It Be, 1970.
Let it be.
Yeah. Sorry. I'll keep going. I want to hear that.
Let it be.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Let It Be Mike's version.
Yeah. From the vault.
I've heard a lot of Let It Be slander, and I don't get it at all. There's a lot to love here for me. From this. Oh my god! From the stunning instrumentation and production to the soulful singing all throughout. This album was supposed to come out before Abbey Road, and at certain points it is very obvious that they were created together, which is just another reason to love it, in my opinion. This has always been one of my favorites, and I have such a good time listening to it every time. Maybe it's not as good as Abbey Road, but it deserves more love, and I think it gets. Yeah, my favorites were Let It Be, I'm Your Mine, Across the Universe, The Long and Winding Road, Get Back, Dig a Pony, and I've Got a Feeling. And my least favorites were Dig It, Maggie May. I give it a decent 9.
All right. Let It Be, 1970. Let It Be is odd because the great songs on here are just as good as the rest of their classics. But I think the surrounding tracks are a little forgettable in comparison to the rest of their discography. It's not a bad album by any means, but I think you can kind of tell that it was time to go a little bit. I did some reading on this album, as I did with most of them, and I did see that a lot of this album was somewhat pieced together, with not as much of it. With much of it not even being recorded with all of them in the same room. And I think you can kind of tell that a little bit. That creative energy that each of the four contributes to their songs, it just feels a little undermined on this album for me. The output is fine, and it led to some truly iconic tracks, but I really think the project as a whole is just a little bit lackluster. My favorites were Let It Be, The Long and Winding Road, I Me Mine, and I also put in parentheses Don't Let Me Down because that's not on the original version of the album, but I do like that song a lot. And I was like, wait, that's missing from here. That's not here. And it's on the Naked version or whatever that Paul McCartney released. Very good song. And my least favorites are For You, Blue, I've Got a Feeling, and Dig a Pony. And overall, I gave it a light 7.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, overall thoughts. I said this was one of the most exciting artist analyses for me. As a music lover who had only listened to about half of the Beatles classics, well, let's just say this experience was the inverse of our Green Day artist analysis. With every single album, I was curious about the backgrounds of each recording, the context they came in, and one thing that I kept coming back to for some reason was the ranking of Ringo songs. I don't know why that intrigued me. That's why I knew that every album had a Ringo song. At least I think most of them did. I don't know why. But I was way more engaged in this listing than I have been on previous ones, since their discography is just so iconic and so much context behind it. And yeah, controversial take, I think they're pretty good. One thing I didn't expect was how short a lot of their songs are. I'd say about 85% of these songs are less than 3 minutes, and it's interesting to see how we're actually falling back to those track lengths nowadays, although for much different reasons, because now it's for money, and back then it was so they could fit onto vinyl records. Yeah. Also, I'm glad a lot of the classic records are getting remasters and stuff, because I did find the hard panning of the 2009 mixes, which was pretty much every album that I listened to, and probably you as well. It's like the ones that are marketed on Spotify. They're all the 2009 mixes. But yeah, the hard panning in all those mixes to be more retractive than additive, not refractive. While I did listen to the Abbey Road remastered version just because I knew that album more, and it was pretty good. I'm excited to hop back into the White Album and Revolver in those remastered formats because I think I will like them a little bit more that way. But yeah, I still can't believe this entire discography takes up the space of 7 years. They did so much in that time, and I can't even fathom how much of a toll those years took on their lives. As good as they were, it's easy to see why they're still so well regarded nowadays, because the run they did was legendary. In terms of their songs, I don't think there was a bad song here. There were quite a few that were mediocre, especially in their earlier days, but nothing was bad. A lot of it was very good. So I'll admit it. I like the Beatles now. They get a stamp of approval from the plaintiff. So good for them.
Yeah, good for them.
Good for them.
I'll call up Paul right now.
Yeah, you got the plaintiff stamp of approval.
Yeah, I'll send a letter to Ringo. He might not read it or sign it.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah, what did he say? He'll fight you with peace and love? What does he say?
He says, I'm warning you with peace and love.
Yeah, that's it.
Do not send any more fan mail.
Yeah.
I will not be reading or signing or sending anything back.
Yeah.
Yeah, classic video. Yeah. Overall thoughts. The Beatles. Such an interesting story that took place in such a short 10 years. It never ceases to baffle me that they were able to do so much in that time span. Movies, 13 albums, and touring in the early days. It's just fucking crazy. I'm so glad that we got to do this artist analysis, though. This band is so unequivocally important and influential that it's hard to listen to any music without hearing some sort of reference to these four British boys. I love the Beatles. I love the story, and I'm so glad we got what we got. But God, I wish we had gotten some sort of reunion for John Depp. Yeah, that was in the plans.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, they were talking about it before he was killed by Mark David Chapman. But yeah, if you want more insight, or you want more insight into like what the band was like, I'd watched the Get Back documentary.
Yeah.
It's on Disney Plus. It's 3 parts. They're all like an hour and a half long, but it's just like the process of them making Let It Be, and it's fucking crazy. It's really fucking good. There's also a really good George Harrison documentary. I forget what it's called, but like it goes into like his life during and after the Beatles, and it's really interesting. But yeah, really one of the best musical acts in history with the Beatles here. Love these boys.
Yeah.
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 Album rankings.
Album ranking.
Mine goes Abbey Road, Let It Be, Sgt. Pepper's, The Beatles, White Album, Revolver, Rubber Soul, Help, Magical Mystery Tour, Please Please Me, With the Beatles, Yellow Submarine, Hard Day's Night, and Beatles for Sale.
Alright.
And overall, it's light 8.
Light 8. Alright. My ranking is Abbey Road, Sgt. Pepper's, Magical Mystery Tour, Rubber Soul, Revolver, Help, A Hard Day's Night, The Beatles, White Album, Let It Be, Please Please Me, Yellow Submarine, Beatles for Sale, and then With the Beatles at the end. Overall, I gave them a strong 8. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that was fucking great. It took a little less time than I thought it would, honestly, but yeah, that was a fun one.
It was a fun one. And I'm just hoping the wind that has been somewhat present through this episode isn't just blowing out the entire microphone.
Yeah, I hope not. But,
I don't think it is, but there's definitely going to be wind picked up.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to do that a little bit. I don't know if that'll help, but
that's okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright.
That was our artist analysis of the Beatles.
Yes, it was.
Hope you enjoyed. You should go check out that band for sure.
Yeah.
They're a little indie band, yeah. Never heard of them before this, so. But yeah, do you want to hop into our song of the week?
Sure, we can. So the songs that we have already chosen, if these load, I'm going to have to find it again. God damn it. I think it was She's Leaving Home, Blackbird, and Eleanor Rigby. Yes. So those are the ones we've already chosen. I think the one I'm going to choose, like I said, I think this is probably my favorite Beatles song. It's just really good. So I'm going to go with Something by the Beatles.
All right.
Alright, that was Something by the Beatles. It was something. What did you think
sure
of
was
it?
Something. It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
I love the guitar on it. John sounds fucking great on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of their best songs.
Yeah.
In general. It's so good.
Yeah, I know that's a George written song, and I think he's a little underrated as a writer.
He sure is.
There's a lot of George songs that I saw in there that I really liked.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's a beautiful song. Absolutely love it. And when I was listening to the 2018 version, they like had the strings a little more up front, and like those were fucking gorgeous. But still very good though. I really like. Obviously, I love that song a lot. It's my favorite of their. I think it's my favorite of their long and iconic discography. So yeah,
very good.
What about you?
It's kind of hard to pick. I think, yeah, I'm gonna go with While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
All right,
by the Beatles.
Cool.
Still my guitar gently weeps.
All right, that was While My Guitar Gently Weeps by the Beatles. What you think?
Another George Harrison staple.
Yes, sir.
Where George Harrison stands over here, I guess.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's my favorite Beatle. Who's your favorite Beatle?
Probably between him and Paul.
Fair.
No. Yeah. But yeah. I mean, it's a great song. I like it. It's a great song.
I fucking love that one. Guitar is beautiful on it. John sounds great on it.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't seen the video of like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame performance with like a bunch of big guitarists and John's son, where Prince just goes fucking crazy on that solo. So good.
Oh, I have not seen that.
I think Mike the Snare talked about it in his Deep Discog Dive on Prince, but it is so fucking good, and made me love that song even more. It's just extremely well written, and I love that one.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's a good song.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sick. We'll probably have to figure out who we're doing next week for our little bracket. Thank you. Little artist bracket. But We'll figure that out at some point.
Sure.
Do you have anything else to add on this week?
Don't think so. Just happy Barbenheimer Day.
Yeah.
Hope
Notice
you-
how we didn't say happy birthday.
Yeah. Hope you enjoy it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll see.
I guess happy birthday too.
Thank you.
Whatever.
Thank you.
I mean, you don't wish me happy birthday on my birthday, but
I mean, you had to remind me, just like I reminded you.
I mean, you didn't. I was actually the first one to say happy birthday, happy birthday.
Yeah, I mean, they don't know that. It's not
He
canon.
makes me out to be such a bad friend, but in
I would
reality,
never make you out.
Why not?
If you enjoyed listening to this episode, go check out the Beatles, a little indie band from England, London, something
Essex or something.
like that. Liverpool,
That might be the one.
maybe, I don't know. Go listen to some of their stuff, especially Abbey Road. Fantastic album. I think everyone could listen to that album and love it. But yeah, if you're listening on streaming services, thank you very much. We love you. But you can come see our beautiful background and listen to where all that wind is coming from.
Yeah.
you can see the visual. If you go on over to YouTube under the same name, BrokeN Bois, capital N Bois, and you'll find a whole bunch of stuff there. You'll find links to the Song of the Week playlists, where you can find something by the Beatles. Something there, or you can find While My Guitar Gently Weeps, along with so many others in our playlist. We got one for me, we got one for Colin, we got one for both of us combined, along with all of our guests. There's a whole bunch of songs in there, like 5 Beatles songs there now, so they're a little under in the mix, but it's okay. You'll find a whole bunch of variety and sounds in there. But yeah, you can also go on and check out our personal stuff. I have some stuff down there. I've got links to my Spotify and Apple Music, and I think other streaming services as well for my music that release under Plaintive.
Yeah.
There will be stuff there at some point. Ideas are circling.
Listen to his album in the meantime, though.
Yeah.
Coping Mechanism. Check it out. It's good as shit.
Go check it out. It's my baby.
Yep.
Yeah, go check out that. I also have my Instagram down there, I think, and my YouTube page, and my Album of the Year page, where I rate and review a whole bunch of music, along with all these Beatles reviews. Go out and check those out. I need to fix one of them. I forgot which one I have to fix.
It's.
I think it was Revolver with Tomorrow Never Dies. Yeah.
And
But
TikTok.
and my TikTok, thank you, where I post whatever there. I don't know. We'll figure it out. And you can also go over and check out
Wait, but
Colin's
where are
stuff.
you?
Oh my God, how could I forget? I'm behind them.
Like, how far?
However far they think I am, I'm actually like 2 steps closer.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so it's a little more than they think. But yes, that is my proximity to you at this very moment. Colin, however, he has other stuff.
Yeah.
He runs our TikTok page, and he also runs our Twitter page. You got a whole bunch of highlights and updates and all that kind of stuff on there. Go check out those. You also got his do we have your Instagram down there?
Instagram review page.
Instagram review page. Yes,
the one.
that's the one he uses the most. His Instagram review page is down there. You can go check out all those modern reviews on there.
Yeah.
But he also has an album of the year. Where do you usually review the artist analysis stuff that we do? Yeah. Go check
I need
out.
to write all those. But
Yeah, that's why I copy and paste mine nowadays.
I write them all freehand, so I have to type them on. I'm stupid like that.
Yeah. But you're not stupid. I said yeah, but I didn't make you agree with that.
I like having the memories.
There you go. But yeah, go check out the album of the year. You can check out all his reviews as well. He's also got a letterbox down there where you can check out his Barbie and Oppenheimer reviews. Probably by the time this episode's up, maybe
They'll be up there.
So go check out those. See how he enjoyed the movie. He doesn't even know at this point in time.
No.
So
I'm sure it's great, though. I've
I'm
heard
sure.
great things about Oppenheimer.
I have too. Yeah. I'm excited.
And Barbie. I saw a tweet that was like, there was like a quote from Barbie that was like, it's funny when you hear Barbie say, you ever think about dying after you spent 3 hours with J. Robert Oppenheimer.
Nice.
So, it's gonna be a whirlwind.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
I'm seeing Oppenheimer twice.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
we'll see how it affects me mentally.
You just come to the next episode just like completely dead. But yeah, you got all those. Did I mention everything for you? I think
I think so.
Cool.
But,
where are you?
I'm in front of them. Like, I'm like sitting on the couch in front of them, freaking out to Revolution 9, and I don't know what's going on. But
Gotcha.
I'm right in front of them, and I'm looking for comfort. But
Nice.
yeah, we're gonna get it though.
Yeah.
When we come together over you.
Right now.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna come together. Mike's gonna hug you from behind. I'm gonna hug you from up front, shaking and crying.
Yeah.
Listening to Revolution 9.
Yeah.
Might get snot and tears over you, but I need this hug, this love cage. Because we're gonna be hugging you from front to behind, and me and Mike are gonna be making out right next to your head.
I'm just gonna keep going. Number 9.
It's gonna make me cry harder.
Yeah, Colin's
but-
gonna cry even harder.
Yeah. Sorry if you taste the snot,
Yeah.
but that's your fault.
That's just more sounds for them to listen to. Oh God.
But enjoy that, and you can get your own love cage if you drop your address down in the comments below.
Absolutely.
For the low price of free. And maybe if you want to chip in some gas money for me and Mike, but that's up to you.
And we cannot guarantee it will happen immediately, but at some point in your lifetime it will occur.
You might completely forget about this podcast, but 10 years down the line, when we're 32 years old,
Yeah.
we're gonna show up, and you'll be like, "Who the fuck are you guys?" Be like, "You know what this is," but they won't.
And then we'll start going BrokeN Boys. BrokeN Boys.
A podcast that's been off the air for 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, it's over this year, Mike.
All right.
Get ready for the bombastic conclusion to BrokeN Boys.
Well, I hope I'm still there for the love cage. That's all I can say. Hope I'm still kicking it.
We'll see what ideas I get from Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Or Barbie.
Or Barbie. But yeah, enjoy that when it happens. But we'll see you next week. We'll talk at you. We love you very much.
Look forward to where our traveling roadshow goes next.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Love you.
Love you.
What was that? You don't want to give him a kiss? There you go.
Bye.